Well, I became interested in Alzheimer's because one of my grandmothers is severely affected by the disease, and um, I, because we were so close and we were really good friends, but now she doesn't even know who I am. And just having to deal with that pain, I just wanted to make sure that nobody else would have to deal with that too. But actually currently right now, there are 5.3 million Americans diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And by 2050, the number is projected to increase to 13.2 million Americans. But it's not just those 13.2 Americans, the 13.2 million Americans that are going to be affected by the disease. It's their family and friends and all of their loved ones that are going to have to suffer with them too. And the heartache, not that that's enough. There's the financial burden that comes along with Alzheimer's too. America spends $1 billion a year on Alzheimer's treatment and living care and stuff. And the heartache and the financial burden, all that is just such a traumatic experience for the entire family. And it's something that I wanted to help ease. And so I was thinking of a way that might be able to be a low-cost, largely available way for everyone to utilize to prevent or delay Alzheimer's from coming on. And I did a lot of background research, and many studies pointed to the fact that novelty-seeking learning, which is just learning new things, and social interactions, exchanging information, and communicating with others in a warm, friendly environment would help to reduce chances for Alzheimer's disease. And so I was thinking, what is something that is that spurs novelty-seeking learning, is free, and also makes people interact socially? And I thought of online social networks such as Facebook and MySpace and Twitter. And so what I did was I gathered a participant pool, just a convenient sample of 213 people, and I gave them a survey that I created, just asking them whether they did or did not use online social networks. And I made sure that people who did say yes were used their network at least twice a week for at least 15 minutes total. And so then I gathered some information from them about their online networking, and then I also administered the MMSE to them, which is the mini mental state exam. And it's the most validated and widely used cognitive function screening test. And so a 0 would be someone who is deceased or in a state of vegetation, and a 30 would be people who are cognitively intact. And so about a 22 would signify dementia, such as Alzheimer's. And so I made sure that my participants were all 60 or older and were not diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And so I just compared their cognitive function levels on that, which is basically their score on that exam. And the people who did use online social networks actually had statistically significant higher levels of cognitive function than those that did not use online social networks. And the difference was about 1.7 on that scale of 30. And so, that's a really big difference on such a small scale. And I actually don't know which is the cause and which is effect. Is it because the people that used online social networks, because of the online networks, they had higher cognitive function levels? Or is it because they had cognitive function levels that they were able to use online social networks? And so, and because mine was a cross-sectional study, it's just a segment in time, but I have to look at this process happening over a period of time to see if people, what I could do is divide people into two groups that have never used online social networks before, senior citizens, and then I would assign one group to use online social networks and then over a period of time I would measure their cognitive function levels to see a change in that. And that would allow me to seek out which is the cause and which is effect. And if online social networks are really the cause for higher cognitive function levels, then this is a free and really largely available way for people to engage their mind and learn new things, interact socially to prevent or delay Alzheimer's. And I think that's just really amazing. And maybe if we can prove that Facebook can really prevent Alzheimer's disease, then so many people could avoid, suffering through Alzheimer's, and that would be amazing. Yeah.
Great.